Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL action, headed to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the Packers are hosting the Titans. We've got a promo code. The code is HOLIDAY for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Packers are minus 3.5 in this one. The total is 55.5, 56, depending on where you get it. The Packers enter 11-3 on the year, 8-6 against the number, while Tennessee is 10-4, 7-7 against the number. And of course, that total is so high because you've got two really dynamic offenses going head to head. Of course, Derrick Henry headlining the Titans in that rush attack, and then Aaron Rodgers in the passing game of the Packers headlining that squad. Aaron Jones pretty good at running back as well. We've got Lee from ASA here to break this one all down. Lee, I'm expecting this to be a good one to watch. A lot of points I'm expecting, and hopefully my Titans can keep it close. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm expecting a shootout here from this aspect. The Titans' weakness defensively, well, one is their defense that's not very good, but specifically is their pass defense. They're last in the NFL in sacks per game at 1 sack per game. So Aaron Rodgers is going to have plenty of time to throw and pick apart this defense. On the flip side, Green Bay does not stop the run very well. Derrick Henry could have a field day against the Green Bay defense. In fact, Green Bay's overall defensive statistics aren't terrible on the season unless you go to the DVOA numbers. They're 18th in defensive DVOA. Tennessee's 28th. This is going to come down to offense. Again, both very good quarterbacks, solid running games, solid wide receivers, solid offensive lines. The Packers are averaging 31 points per game this year. They've scored 30 or more in 10 of 14 games. That's led to a 10-3-1 over record. Tennessee, they lead the NFL in scoring at 31.1 points per game. They've scored 30 or more in 9 of 14 games. They're second in total yards per game. They're second in rushing. Tennessee games have gone over 55 points in 7 games this season. Green Bay has gone over 55 in half their games. They're first and second in red zone scoring. They score at over 75% of the time when they get in the red zone. So, not much defenses here. I expect a high-scoring shootout. It'll get over 56.
Right. I'm on the Titans over train all the way to the station on this one. The Titans have been super hot to the over, and I don't think this game's going to be any different just because you've got the number one scoring offense in the Titans who actually have more points scored this season than the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you've got the Packers at number 3. So as you mentioned, all the numbers point to two really dynamic offenses. And then, like you said, the defense has been the problem for the Titans all season long. And last week we saw Matt Stafford with maybe a shortage of ribs. He's very banged up. I don't know what's wrong with his ribs, but bottom line, he's really hurt. Matt Stafford ran for a first down against this Titans defense and also converted on 9 of 11 third downs. So that gives you just how bad this Titans defense has been. I don't think it's going to get easier with Aaron Rodgers, especially since the Titans cannot generate any pressure on the quarterback. And then on the opposite side, you've got this Packers defense that, if you remember, when they faced really good running backs, they feast. Dalvin Cook had 4 touchdowns and 226 total yards of offense against the Packers back in November. So I think Derrick Henry has another big game. I would love to see what the prop is for his rushing total. It's probably going to be really high, but I think it's still worth looking at just because, of this defense. And plus, even if the Titans are down by a lot, they've shown that they can still put a lot of points on the board. As we saw in that game against the Browns, they were down big early, but that game ended up being 41-35. So the Titans can put up points whether they're down or not. So I like the over. And of course, always check the weather. Do you think the weather is going to play a big enough factor in this one to account for playing anything different on the total?
Typically when I look at totals, the biggest aspect of weather that I take into effect is wind. And it's not supposed to be windy. It is going to be bitterly cold in Green Bay tomorrow. They're talking today it's like 50 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 12 degrees. So there's going to be a big drop in the weather here in the next couple of days. So it's going to be cold.
Yeah, and that should fare well, at least for the Titans or teams that can run the ball pretty effectively, because usually, when it's cold, people like to rely more on their run game, I think. But it should be noted that the Packers can run the ball pretty effectively as well, with Aaron Jones being one of the better backs in the NFL. I know you're not picking a side in this one, but any leanings when it comes to the outcome of this game?
If I had to, I'd probably take Green Bay. It's a short number, and they're at home. And I don't have those specific numbers right on hand here, but Aaron Rodgers at home is phenomenal. So I would probably lay the 3.5 with Green Bay if I had to.
Not what I love to hear, but yeah, as a Titans fan, I'll probably just be on the over and probably some props because I think props will be nice and juicy in this one, as I think points will be a plenty. As always, great stuff from Lee from ASA. Lee, thanks for joining us on Picks and Parlays.